Have you ever been so sure about a memory only to find out later that it never actually happened? Don't worry, you're not broken. That's just your brain doing what it does best, tricking you. Our memory isn't a perfect video recorder. It's more like a chaotic artist, sometimes creative, sometimes sloppy, and often filling in gaps with wild guesses. Today, we're diving into 9 memory glitches that show just how unreliable and fascinating our brain really is. 1. The false memory effect. Sometimes, you can remember something in perfect detail that never actually happened. For example, you might be convinced that your friend told you a story last week, but in reality, you only read about it online. This happens because the brain loves connecting dots and filling in gaps. It builds a memory out of bits and pieces, then sells it to you as 100% real. Basically, your brain is the best liar you know, and you're the victim. 2. Déjà vu. That eerie sensation of having lived the exact same moment before. Déjà vu happens when your brain's memory system glitches and processes the present as if it were already stored in the past. It's like your brain accidentally pressed copy and paste on reality. Scientists believe this occurs when there's a delay between 2 brain regions. One recognizes the situation as new, while another mistakenly files it as familiar. So no, you didn't live a past life. You just experienced a brain lag. 3. The Mandela Effect. Entire groups of people can remember events that never existed. For example, many swear they saw the Monopoly Man with a monocle, or that the Pokemon Pikachu had a black tip on its tail. Both are wrong, but the false memory is so widespread that it feels real. This is called collective false memory. It shows that memory is social. Our brain reshapes what we know based on what others believe. 4. Source confusion. Ever tell a story and realize halfway through that it didn't happen to you but to someone else? This is called source confusion. Your brain remembers the information but forgets where it came from. Over time, details get shuffled, and suddenly you're the star of an event that never belonged to you. Congratulations, you just stole someone else's memory without even trying. 5. Memory distortion over time. Each time you recall a memory, your brain doesn't just replay it, it rebuilds it. And like copying a photo over and over, the quality degrades. Tiny details shift, colors, faces, the order of events. After years, your clear memory might be completely different from reality. In other words, remembering something is the fastest way to change it. 6. Flashbulb memories. Big events, like where you were on a historic day, feel like they're etched in stone. You swear you'll never forget them. But even these flashbulb memories are unreliable. Studies show that people's confidence in these memories is sky high, but the accuracy drops dramatically over time. So yes, you may believe you remember every detail, but your brain is just playing back a polished, re-edited highlight reel. 7. Change blindness. Ever fail to notice a huge change right in front of you? That's change blindness, when your brain overwrites part of a memory without telling you. For example, in experiments, people fail to notice when one person they're talking to is suddenly replaced by another. The brain assumes stability in the world, so it doesn't waste resources recording every detail. Result: big errors slip through the cracks. 8. Confabulation. Sometimes the brain doesn't just distort, it outright invents. Confabulation happens when people recall events that never occurred, often blending fragments of real memories into pure fiction. This isn't lying. It's the brain honestly believing in its own creation. It's memory fan fiction, written and directed by your neurons. 9. The tip of the tongue phenomenon. You know something, but you just can't recall it. That's your brain getting stuck between long-term memory and retrieval. The information is there. You just can't unlock it. Hours later, when you're doing something completely unrelated, the missing word pops into your head. Basically, your brain is like a slow internet connection. Sometimes the download just buffers forever. 10. Cryptomnesia. The stolen idea. Illusion. Ever come up with a brilliant idea, only to later realize you've seen or heard it before? That's cryptomnesia. Your brain mistakes an old memory for a new thought. Suddenly you believe you invented something that actually belonged to someone else. It's like plagiarism, but unintentional, and your brain is both thief and victim. 11. Emotional memory distortion. Emotions supercharge memory, but not always in the way you'd expect. Strong emotions can distort events, making them seem bigger, scarier, or more dramatic than they really were. For example, a minor argument might later feel like an explosive fight. Your brain edits the footage, amplifying what mattered most emotionally, not factually. 12. Memory implantation. False memories created by others. Here's the scariest part. Other people can rewrite your memories. In experiments, researchers have convinced people they were lost in a shopping mall as children, even though it never happened. With just a few suggestive questions, the brain fills in details and accepts the fiction as truth. Your memories aren't just yours. They're open to editing from the outside world. 13. Boundary extension. The extra detail. Illusion. Your brain often remembers more of a scene than was actually there. For example, if you saw a photo of a car parked in front of a house, later you might swear you also saw the driveway or the street, even though they weren't in the original image. The brain naturally fills in context, like a painter extending the frame of the picture. 14. Reconstructive memory. Your brain doesn't store experiences like a video camera. It stores scattered fragments, and every time you recall them, it rebuilds the scene like a puzzle. The problem? The pieces don't always come from the same box. That funny story you love telling about a party might actually be stitched together from 3 separate nights out. The joke from one night, the outfit from another, the punchline from a third. Yet when you tell it, your brain presents it as one seamless memory. In fact, studies show that people often remember details that were never there, borrowing fragments from completely unrelated experiences. Memory isn't a faithful replay, it's a remix. 15. Imagination inflation. Your imagination is powerful, and sometimes too powerful. Simply imagining an event can make your brain treat it as real. For instance, if you picture yourself missing the bus as a child, seeing the bus drive away, feeling the frustration, your brain might later upgrade that imagined scene into something you believe actually happened. The more vivid the imagination, the more convincing the memory becomes. Psychologists have demonstrated this in experiments. People asked to visualize childhood events later reported them as genuine memories. Imagination sneaks into the archive, blending fantasy with reality until you can't tell them apart. 16. Rosy retrospection. The past is rarely remembered as it truly was. Instead, your brain paints it with a nostalgic glow. That boring school trip, years later, it feels magical. That stressful vacation where everything went wrong, in memory, it transforms into a golden adventure. This bias, called rosy retrospection, helps us soften the rough edges of life. Negative feelings fade faster, while positive details get magnified. It's why we think childhood summers were endless, or why we claim the good old days were better. But here's the twist. The same brain that edited out the frustration, boredom, or stress at the time is the one telling you how perfect it all was later. Memory doesn't just store life, it polishes it. 17. Prospective memory failures. Memory isn't only about the past, it's also about remembering the future. This is called prospective memory, the ability to carry out intended actions. And it fails more often than we'd like to admit. You walk into a room and immediately forget why you went there. You plan to send an important email, but hours later realize you never did. You set something on the counter so you won't forget it, then step over it all day long. These failures happen because your brain is juggling multiple tasks at once. Instead of holding on to the reminder, it quietly deletes it to free up mental space. It's like a faulty calendar app that randomly erases your events. Forgotten birthdays, missed appointments, and that constant feeling of, I know I was supposed to do something. Conclusion. So what do these 12 glitches tell us? That memory is not a library of facts. It's a restless editor, constantly rewriting, deleting, and improvising the story of your life. The scary part? You'll never know which memories are true and which are fabrications. The fascinating part? That's exactly what makes being human so mysterious and unique. Because in the end, your brain isn't just recording your life, it's creating it. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this video with your friends. See you next time.